Are you Rod?
Yeah, this is Rod.
I'm Bebe from La 100 radio station from Buenos Aires, Argentina. It's a pleasure to have you with us.
I know it's been coming for some.
Talking about singing and talking about voices, maybe you have one of the most recognizable voices in this business. I am a radio host. I work with my voice, and I always ask it, how can you do what you have been doing in the last 50 years without
50 years, yeah.
losing your voice?
Well, sometimes I have lost my voice through too much work, but you really have to look after it. I've just recently learned how to warm the voice down. I've always warmed the voice up. I've never warmed it down, and that has paid big dividends. Also, plenty of tons and tons of water. Water is the voice's best friend.
Okay, I take it as an advice for my own voice.
Yeah.
I was telling that your harsh voice, your beaten up voice, is your trademark, true?
Yes, indeed, yes. Yeah, it's God-given.
If you had a fuller voice, those voices like an angel, would your career be the same?
Well, who knows? It's not just been the voice that's made my career. It's songwriting and stage performances and even what I look like. It's a combination of all those things.
So, Rob, talking about your songwriting, you were primary songwriting in the beginning of your career, and then in the 80s and 90s, you quit writing songs, and you favored record cover versions. But in the last years, you began to write songs again. How did it come?
Yeah, I got a little lazy, I think, in the 90s. Not so sure about the 80s, but, the 90s I definitely didn't put pen to paper at all. And then I did the American Songbook.
Yeah, right.
5 albums of the American Songbook. The turning point, my friend, was 3 or 4 years ago when I started working on my book called Rod, which is available at your local bookstore. I decided and realized I had lots of things to sing about. You spend so much time on this planet, there's plenty of stories. So that was really the turning point.
Rod, when you're not writing your own material, what quality does have a song in order for you to pick the song to record it?
Well, I think I'll always go for the lyrical content over melody. But if the two are great, that makes for a good song. And that's about it, really. I mean, I could make a whole double album of songs I would like to record of other people's. But I'm in such a good position now to write. I enjoy it thoroughly. That's the difference. I enjoy it more now.
Talking about the Great American Songbook series albums, how did you come with that idea? Who was responsible for picking the concept of the Great American Songbook?
Well, I think probably my parents take a great deal of credit for that, because I was, when I was very young, I heard all these songs being played and sung, either by my family or on the radio, and they're such great songs that they stay with you for the rest of your life. These are truly remarkable songwriters, Gershwin and the likes. These songs stay with you. You only have to hear them once, and they'll stay with you for the rest of your life. So I've always wanted to do it. I wanted to do it with my record company in the 90s, which was Warner Brothers, but they didn't want to know about it. They only saw me as a rock singer. And then I took it to Clive Davis, and he was very anxious to move forward with it, and he did, and it was a big success.
I love you, honey.
You talked about being a rock singer. How do you define yourself? Are you a rock singer, a soul singer, a blues singer?
I'm all of those things, and a folk singer. There's nothing I can't tackle. I'm not a very good rapper.
Okay, but did you try to rap?
No, I wouldn't try to rap. No.
Maybe you should try it.
No, I wouldn't even come close. It's, there are things you don't want to try, and that's not my department.
All I needed was a friend to lend a guiding hand.
Rob, you talked earlier about your looks, and Rod Stewart is all about looks. From the 60s on.
Yeah, no, they're not steady on. They're not great looks.
No, how can you say that? No,
they're
man.
just different. They're different.
No, from the early days of your career, who was the spikiest hair in the 60s? Jeff Beck, Ron Wood, or was that you?
Oh no, that was me. I always took that medal. Yeah. But Ronnie Wood was very close behind me.
So Jeff Beck didn't qualify.
No, he didn't spike his hair up. He just laid lank like a blanket on his head.
Tell me about the spandex trousers era of your career.
Yeah, well, they seemed great at the time, like all fashion, you know. You look back and you think, oh my God, what was I doing wearing those? But that was all the go at the time. I bet. How old are you, my friend?
I'm 53 years old, rather.
Oh, I'd like to see what you were wearing 30 years ago. Bell-bottom trousers, and so, you know, it seemed okay at the time, but, you know, I look back now and I cringe a bit.
To be frank, Rod, we always admire your looks, and when we look at your actual pictures, we are so envious, You are...
God bless you.
You are so elegant, and, man, you have all your hair, full hair, all your hair. Can't believe it.
That is one thing that I'm so lucky about. I really have, you know, managed to keep my hair. But even that, I do look after it. It takes a bit of looking after. You can't just ignore it.
Nothing but a heartache.
I was looking through your career. I learned about, incredibly, you had a case of stage fright back in the 60s in a USA tour. I can't believe it. You are one of the best frontmen in the world. How did you evolve to become such a great performer?
Well, it was I was with the Jeff Beck group, and we were on our first tour of America, and we were playing the Fillmore East in New York, which was a venue that held about 2,500 people. And I got it in my mind, because I've always tried to sound like a black singer, you know, from the Deep South in those days, singing blues. And I had this sudden fear that I'd be going out and see a few black faces and they'd think I was a phony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was actually scared, absolutely shitless. And for the first number, I hid behind the amps and sang until Jeff told me to come out. And after we'd done the first number, there was this huge round of applause. It really went down well. And then I took a look at the audience, because there wasn't one black face in the audience. But that was my perception. That was my perception of America in those days.
And eventually you have performed to millions of people. So these days you are a natural performer.
Yeah, I think so. It's something you work at and you hone in on and you practice and you get better and better and better. And playing Las Vegas has taught me a lot, because there you have time to chat with the audience and, just have fun with the audience, which I carry over into the bigger shows.